Hello and congrats, we're back to some more Buffalo Sabres franchise mode in FHM 12. And in the last one, we went through the offseason heading into year number 5, where we didn't do much. We honestly did not do too much this past offseason in terms of changing up our roster. We extended Tage Thompson and Noah Ostlund. We called up Radim Murtka, giving him a chance because I figure if he's gonna, if he's gonna be developing into an NHL level player, it's got to be soon, right? He's already 22. We had a pretty solid draft, drafting Misek, and then of course 2 defensemen in Rudeman and Engeland. And then you have some previous draft picks getting better, like Eklund, Asp, and Pettersson. And then you also have Ram Olsen and Stenberg making their NHL debuts this season. So overall, outside of Stenberg, Ram Olsen, and Murtka, there's not much different about this roster from last year. I want to give them one more chance to get it done in the playoffs before we have to shake things up. And we are going to have to shake things up because you have Bowen Byram asking for $8.7 million for 5 years. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that with our cap situation being the way it is. You have Jake Evans asking for 4.5 for 2 years. I don't think we're going to be able to do that either. You have John Marino, 32 years of age now, asking for 4.7 for 3 years. So I just don't think that a lot of these players are going to be feasible going into the future. And honestly, I'm really hoping that Murtka can have a solid growth year here because we really do not have too many solid prospect defensemen other than him who are even anywhere close to being NHL ready. So I'm hoping for this year to be a good growth year for our young guys, as well as being a year where we are still on top of the NHL, right? So overall expectations from this year are not any different than they have been for the past 2 seasons. I'm expecting nothing short of the Stanley Cup, as we did win the Stanley Cup 2 seasons ago. We got outed in the 3rd round last year, so I'm hoping that we can make this year number 5 our 2nd Stanley Cup in 3 seasons. So that being said, let's get underway with the year number 5 regular season simulation. Oh, major injury for Nuchev, 1 to 2 months, fractured finger. Oh yeah, Helge Pettersson might be a gem. He might be a gem. He's already up to a 3-star ability, according to his team scouting. Defensive read at 19 now. Offensive ratings are all, at least 15 and then mostly 17s. Physical ratings are good. I'm really liking the look of him. I think he's coming over next year. And we're now on January 1st. We're roughly halfway through the season. We're 33-11, good enough for 1st in the Atlantic Division and tied for 1st in the league. Now let's take a look at the player stats. Thompson, in 44 games played, really proven that he's worth that extension with 38 goals so far in the season and 55 points. He's just not slowing down. So hopefully it stays that way for the next 3 years after this. Then you have McKenna with 42. He's finally starting to break out. Then you have Helenius with 42, Dahlin with 31, Benson with 26, McLeod with 25, Greenway with 23, Marino with 22, Byram and Faber with 21. Then you have 19 for Bryazkin and Aram Olsen. Aram Olsen is up to a 2.5-star talent. Stenberg with 18, Lehkonen with 17, Morrow with 16, Ostlund with 13 and 30. So Ostlund certainly having a down year there. Nuchev with 11, Jake Evans with 8, Riker Evans with 7, and then Wahlberg also with 7, and then Murtka with 5 and 9 games played. And then in goal for Levi in 35 games played, he has 3 shutouts and a .917 save percentage, and Linders in 9 games played has 1 shutout and a .913. So all's well here in Buffalo. But besides Ostlund, there's really not much to complain about. I like where this team is headed. Let's take a look at the team stats. Goals for per game, we're 5th in the league with a 3.55. Goals against per game, we're 2nd in the league with a 2.34. Faceoffs, we're 9th in the league with a 51.7. Power play, we are 25th in the league with a 10%. So power play could be better, I suppose. And then penalty kill, we are 16th in the league with an 86.4. So I guess if I had any complaints, it would be the power play. But besides that, I think we're set to go probably towards the end of the regular season here. I mean, I'll probably stop at the trade deadline just to consider any upcoming FAs. If we want to be trading any of these guys, probably not, just because of, where we're at as a team, 33-11. I mean, I'm going to want to hold on to these guys, most of these guys for the playoff runs, right? So yeah, I think we just advance straight to the end of the regular season here. There's really not much to be done. All right, so we're at February 27th now, which is effectively the trade deadline. The trade deadline is February 28th. And I really don't think there's anything I want to do, regardless of who we have to release this offseason with upcoming FAs. This team's too good. We have to give them a chance to win the Stanley Cup here. We're 47-16-2. We're 1st in the NHL right now with 96 points. And we have a goal differential of plus 79, so I don't think I would feel comfortable giving up any of these guys through trade, regardless of, like I said, regardless of what happens with contracts. We got to give it a go. right? We just have to. So that said, we'll just advance straight to the end of the regular season. All right, we are at the end of the regular season. We have finished 56, 24-4. Good enough for second in the Atlantic Division as Detroit has passed us. And we are, of course, second in the league, tied for second in the league with Minnesota. So let's check out the player stats. You have Thompson, of course, leading the way with 53 goals, 83 points. McKenna with 71. Hellenius with 65, 56 assists, only 9 goals. Dahlin with 57. Benson with 49. McLeod with 45. Marino with 39. Aram Olsen with 38 and 69 games played. Pretty good rookie season for him. Faber with 37. Nuchev and Byram with 36. Stenberg, Greenway, and Morrow with 34. 31 for Ostlund and Berjaskin. So Ostlund definitely did have a down season this year. Lehkonen with 27, Riker Evans with 15, Jake Evans with 12, and then Wahlberg with 12, and Mertka with 8 in 20 games played. And in goal, you have a .910 save percentage for Levi in 68 games played and 6 shutouts. And for Leenders in 16 games played, he has 2 shutouts and a .923. And now let's check out the team stats. You have a .330 goals for per game. We're 9th in the league in that category. And for goals against per game, we are 1st in the league with a 2.32. Faceoffs, we're 14th in the league with a 50.6. Power play, we're 23rd in the league with 11.6. And penalty kill, we are 13th in the league with 87.4. So all things considered, that was a very good season for your Buffalo Sabres. Let's advance and see what we have in the playoffs. And it will be the 53, 27-4 Ottawa Senators in the first round of the playoffs. I am expecting nothing less than a Stanley Cup this year from your Buffalo Sabres. So let's get right into it. All right, here we go. Game number 1 against Ottawa will be a 4-2 Ottawa victory. Ooh. So not starting out on the right note. Shots at 38-30 in favor of Buffalo. 3 stars game are Rubruk, Dahlin, and Askarov. First period, Ryan McLeod scores first from Nuchev and Dahlin to give us a 1-0 lead, but then it's Yakimchuk and Rubruk for Ottawa to make it 2-1, heading into the locker room where it's Yakimchuk and Batherson in the second period to make it 4-1. And then the third period, it's Consta Hellenius with a goal from McKenna to make it a 4-2 game, but it was obviously not enough, and they take a 1-0 lead in the series. All right, come on, guys. Game number 2. Let's win this one. Oh, boy. A 3-1 victory for Ottawa. That is unfortunate. Shots are 34-27 in favor of Buffalo, so we outshot them once again, but they outscored. 3 stars of the game are Yakimchuk, McLeod, and Haltunen. First period, Matthew Nyes with the goal, unassisted, makes it 1-0. Second period, Joachim Kimmel with the goal, makes it 2-0. And then third period, Ostlund with the goal, gets us within 1 from McLeod and Marino, but then it's Haltunen into the empty net to put the dagger into this game and give Ottawa a 2-0 lead in the series. All right, come on, guys. We really cannot afford to lose this one. Game number 3 in Ottawa this time. That will be a 7-3 Buffalo victory. All right, that's what you like to see. We're back in it. Shots are 30-29 in favor of Ottawa. 3 stars game are Thompson, McKenna, and Ostlund. First period, you have Rubruk and Ryabkin scoring first for Ottawa to make it 2-0, but then it's McKenna to get us started from Hellenius and Thompson, and then it's Aram Olsen with his first playoff goal from Evans and Thompson to make it 2-2. Heading to the second period where it's Tage Thompson with the goal, his first of the playoffs from McKenna and Hellenius, and then it's Greenway shorthanded from Lehkonen and Marino to make it 4-2. Heading into the third period where it's McKenna with his second of the game, unassisted to make it 5-2. Then it's Nuchev from Ostlund and Byram, and then Ostlund from Berjaskin and Dahlin to make it 7-2. That's Haltunen with the late goal for Ottawa to make it 7-3. But thankfully, we won this game and make it a 2-1 series. All right, here we go into game number 4. Come on, guys. That'll be a 4-2 Buffalo victory. Let's go. We're tied in the series. Shots are 33-28 in favor of Buffalo. 3 stars game are Hellenius, Kimmel, and McKenna. First period, Perfetti and Ryabkin get Ottawa started with a 2-0 lead heading into the second period, but then it's all Buffalo from that point onward as Hellenius gets the goal from McLeod and Faber to make it 2-1, and then it's Ostlund from Faber and Riker Evans to make it 2-2, and then it's Gavin McKenna late in the period from Hellenius and Thompson, and then heading into the third period, you have McKenna with the second of the game, and on the power play from Byram and Nuchev to make it a 4-2 victory for your Buffalo Sabres and a tie series. All right, come on, guys. Pivotal game number 5, that will be a 4-0 Buffalo victory. Let's go. Shots are 29-24 in favor of Buffalo. 3 stars of the game are Thompson, Morrow, and Hellenius. First period, Ostlund with the goal gets us started from Benson and Nuchev to make it 1-0 heading in the second period, where it's Thompson from Helenius and Morrow, and that's Helenius from McKenna and Thompson to make it 3-0 heading in the third, where it's Aram Olsen from Stenberg and Morrow to make it a 4-0 shutout victory over Ottawa in game number 5. All right, come on, guys. Elimination game number 6. We're going into it. First period underway. Come on, Buffalo. Get started on the right note. As that could be an Ottawa goal. It looks like it might be. Yep, it will be. All right, so not a good start. Connor's there with the goal for Ottawa. Puts them up 1-0 halfway through the first period. Come on, Buffalo. All right, so that's the end of 1. We're down by 1 heading in the second period. We're out shooting them. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. That looks like it's going to be a face-off. Yep. And is this going to be an Ottawa goal? Yep. We're not on 2-0. That's early in the second period. Zary with his second of the game. And that is going to be a scoreless second period for Buffalo Sabres. So still no goals on the board for Buffalo heading into the third period. Come on, guys. All right, this has to be our first goal. No, it looks like it's going to be Ottawa. Yep. It's now a 3-0 game early in the third period as Thomas Chabot scores. And it's not looking good. We might be heading to 7 here. Yep. It looks like it's going to be another Ottawa goal. All right. We have a face-off. Wait a minute. Yep, that's going to be an Ottawa goal. And it's now 4-0. Late in the third period, Ryabkin gets the goal. And we are, it looks like, heading to 7. Yeah, there's no way we're coming back with a minute remaining at this point. I mean, at least we broke the shutout. We broke the shutout. Gavin McKenna gets a goal from Marino and Stenberg to make it 4-1. But looks like that's going to be all she wrote, as Ottawa looks to have one more in them here. Yep. And it's now 5-1 with 1 second remaining. Rubrick with the goal. And we're heading to 7. Shots are 36-24 in favor of Buffalo, so we outshot, but they outscored. 3 stars of the game: Ryabkin, Askarov, and Zary. All right, game 7 on home ice. Come on, Buffalo. Get off to a good start. All right, come on. We're in the offensive zone. Oh, we have a face-off. Oh, no, we're in the defensive zone. Oh, boy. Ottawa gets the first of the game. That's Rubrick from Dunn and Ryabkin to make it 1-0 early in the first. Get one back. Oh, boy. Oh, wait a minute. So it appears we have a phantom goal or something. Evans, it appears, just scored. Was that with 0 seconds left on the clock or something? Because I don't know why we didn't get a notification that Evans scored, but he apparently did. So we are tied at 1 heading into the second period. Come on, Buffalo. Come on, Buffalo. Come on. Nice. All right. We're up 2-1 now, early in the second period. As a goal by Zach Benson from Nuchev and Marino. Keep it going. Give me one more. Give me one more before the end of the period. All right, it didn't happen. That's fine. We're up by 1, still heading into the third period. Ottawa's on the power play, though. Can we hold it? Can we hold it? Oh, wait a minute. Last minute goal. Who's it going to be? It will be the empty net goal for Zach Benson from Stenberg and Dahlin. And that will just about do it. Oh, wait, we have one more here. We have one more. Looks like it's going to be an empty net goal for your Buffalo Sabres, and Tage Thompson puts it into the empty nets. And it's now a 4-1 hockey game with 13 seconds remaining. And that is all she wrote for this series. We're moving on to round number 2. Very nice. So a little bit of a nail biter there for sure, but we got it done in the end. Shots are 25-15 in favor of Buffalo Sabres. 3 stars of the game are Benson, Thompson, and Dahlin. And we'll be facing, oh boy. So following up last year, I believe, with yet another second round against the Detroit Red Wings. So we're going to have to do it again. But actually, before we go ahead to Detroit, I want to see that last game against Ottawa. Yeah, it was the goal for Riker Evans was with 0 seconds remaining in the first period from Thompson and Morrow. That is, I don't think I've ever seen that before. That is a literal last second goal. Like, there had to have been less than half a second remaining on the clock for that to happen, I think, right? That's the only way that makes sense, because if the buzzer had gone off, then that wouldn't have counted, right? So, like, that was the literal definition of a buzzer beater goal. Wow, that was that's insane. That might have turned the tide of the game, honestly, that goal by Riker Evans. All right, here we go. Series against Detroit. Let's go into it. Game number 1 will be a 6-3 Detroit victory. Oh, shots are 24-22 in favor of Buffalo. 3 stars of the game are Larkin with a 4-goal performance, Cedar, and Jones. First period, Detroit dominated very early on. Dylan Larkin with his first of the game makes it 1-0, and that's Heary makes it 2-0, and then Larkin with 3 goals over the course of 3 minutes makes it 5-0. But then it's Tage Thompson with our first of the game from McKenna and Helenius to make it 5-1 heading into the second period, where it's Stenberg from Aram Olsen and Morrow, and then Benson from Greenway and McLeod to make it 5-3. Makes it interesting heading into the third period, but then Cedar to shut it down to make it a 6-3 game and the victory for Detroit. All right, here we go into game number 2. That will be a 3-2 Detroit victory. Second series in a row going down 2-0 in the series. Shots of 36-23 in favor of Detroit. 3 stars of the game are Dobson, Benson, and Rasmussen. First period, you have Beckman and Mazur getting the goals for Detroit to make it 2-0, but then it's Benson from Morrow and Ostlund to make it 2-1. And in second period, where it's McKenna from Marino and Helena. So we actually go into the third period tied where there's no scoring, and then in overtime, Moritz Cedar gets the goal to make it a 3-2 Detroit victory. All right, here we go. Game number 3, first game at home in this series. That'll be a 3-1 Buffalo victory. Very nice. All right, we definitely could not have afforded to go down 3-0 against Detroit. Shots of 38-30 in favor of Buffalo. 3 stars of the game are Dahlin, Hronek, and Thompson. First period, Aram Olsen gets the goal from Dahlin and Benson to make it 1-0, but then it's Savoie less than a minute later to make it 1-1. Heading in the second period, where it's McKenna unassisted to make it 2-1. Heading in the third period, where it's Thompson on the power play from Dahlin and Nuchev to make it the 3-1 Buffalo victory. All right, here we go. Game number 4 against Detroit. Let's tie this series up. That'll be a 6-0 Detroit victory. Shots are 35-15 in favor of Detroit. They dominated that game. 3 stars of the game are Dobson, Korchinski, and Rasmussen. First period, Dobson scores twice, and then Nestorenko makes it 3-0 in the first period. And then second period, you have Chinikov, Savoie, and Rasmussen to make it a 6-0 game. And of course, no scoring in the third. And that puts us in a pretty bad hole here against a pretty good team. So this is not a favorable situation here heading into this game number 5, where we're going to need to win 3 in a row. Come on, Buffalo. Get off to a good start. Get off to a good start. It starts with 1. There you go. All right, so we're up 1-0. First shot of the game as well. Early in the first period, Gavin McKenna with the goal from Nuchev and Thompson. And we have another goal. It looks like it's going to be Detroit. Yes, indeed. It's now 1-1. Halfway through the first period, that's Rasmussen with the goal from Nestorenko to make it tied. And we have another one here. Oh, boy. It looks like it's going to be a icing. Yep. And that is going to be a Detroit goal. Chinikov with the goal makes it 2-1. And we have another goal. Come on, Buffalo. We need that next one. There it is. All right. We're tied at 2. We're still in the first period as well. The goal by Benson from Greenway and Beryaskin. And that'll be it for 1. Come on, Buffalo. Oh, boy. In the defensive zone. Don't like this. I don't like this. Oh, man. Detroit scores on the power play. Dobson from Raymond and Cedar puts them up 3-2. Oh, boy. All right. Oh, breakaway 21. Breakaway. Let's go. All right. We're tied at 3 now. 4-on-4 as Riker Evans gets the goal from McKenna and Marino late in the second period. I don't like this. Man. It's now 4-3. Lucas Raymond with the goal from Larkin and Chinikov. That's early in the third period. Come on, get it back. Oh boy, I don't like the look of this. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go. Late in the third period, as Nuchev gets the goal from McKenna and Faber, we're tied at 4. Come on, Buffalo. And we're headed to overtime. Oh boy. All right, here we go. Who is it going to be? And we have the goal. It looks like it might be Detroit. Yeah. Unfortunate. Moritz Cedar with the goal. Ends it from Mazur and Savoie. And that is all she wrote. And we're out in the second round. Shots are 40-38. 3 stars of the game are Cedar, McKenna, and Chinikov. All right, let's take a look at the stats from the playoffs. You have McKenna with 15 points in 12 games played. Very good playoffs for him. But then you have Thompson with 11. So Thompson was good during these playoffs, making up for last season. Of course, he was on the third or fourth line while he was injured last season. So that made sense. But it's good to see him bounce back in these playoffs. Then you have Helenius with 10 and 11 games played, Nuchev with 8, Benson with 7, Ostlund and Marino with 6, Dahlin and Morrow with 5, Aram Olsen, Evans, Stenberg, and McLeod with 4, Greenway and Faber with 3, Beryaskin and Byram with 2, Lehkonen with 1, and then Evans, Mertka, and Wahlberg with nothing. And then in goal, you have an 891 save percentage for Levi. Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. He could have definitely been better. And it's a shame because he was good basically all regular season. He had a 910 save percentage during this past regular season, but unfortunately, he did not live up to that in the playoffs this year. And frankly, all of Levi's save percentages during the playoffs have been underwhelming, at least at the NHL level. 901, 900, 891. Yeah, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. And it's not even like he's a bad goaltender, right? He's a 4.5-star ability. He needs he needs to be able to get it done there in the playoffs. And to be honest, I'm not even sure how much of that I can pin on our offense. Because if we take a look at game number 1, I mean, we lost 6-3. I mean, we got 3 goals, right? Game number 2, we lost 3-2. Fair, we could have gotten maybe 1 or 2 more there. Game number 3, that was our 1 win, 3-1 victory. And then you have a 6-0 loss. So while we didn't get any goals, we also let up a lot of them. And then in game number 5, that last game, we scored 4. So yeah, I mean, it really, goaltending needed to be better. Goaltending and defense needed to be better in that series for sure. So I think with that, we'll advance ahead and see who wins the Stanley Cup. And your 2029-30 Stanley Cup champions are indeed the Detroit Red Wings. They last won in 2026. Playoff winning goal scored by Michael Rasmussen. They went through Boston, your Buffalo Sabres, the New York Rangers, and the Winnipeg Jets. All right, it's time for the NHL awards. For the Ted Lindsay, it is none other than Connor McDavid. 53 goals in the season, 96 points. So no 100-point season for the first time in a long time. And for the Art Ross, it's Austin Matthews, still on Toronto. 61 goals, 101 points. That's his first time for 100 points in the simulation. For the Maurice Richard, it is Connor Bedard with 71 goals and 92 points. So only 21 assists for Bedard here in the simulation. And for the Lady Bing, it is Jake DeBrusk of Vancouver with 34 goals, 54 assists for 88 points for DeBrusk. And then Bill Masterton is Sam Reinhart of Toronto. Looks like he was traded from Florida to Toronto this year. He had 22 goals and 45 points total between those two teams. And for the Mark Messier Leadership Award is Alexander Nikishin of Seattle. He is, of course, not even an alternate captain. So, so it seems the first leadership award going to, I think it was Backlund, might have been a fluke, as every other leadership award since then has not gone to even an alternate captain, I don't think. But Nikishin had 26 points in 83 games played this year. And then for the Jennings Trophy is Devin Levi of your Buffalo Sabres. And as we saw, he had a .910 save percentage on the season. For the Hart between Matthews, Raymond, and McDavid, it is Connor McDavid. But the Conn Smythe, it is Moritz Seider of Detroit. 15 points in 23 games played. He certainly did not hold back against us in that series. For the Calder between Liam Ruck, Lyndon Lakovich, and Landon DuPont, it is Liam Ruck of Chicago with 61 points in 68 games played. For the Norris between Dahlin, Cedar, and Harley, it is Thomas Harley of Minnesota with 52 points. For the Selke between Samuel Helenius, so not Konsta Helenius, Ryan Paling, and Jack McBain, it is Ryan Paling of Minnesota with 48 points. For the Vezina between Lukas Dostal, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and Evan Gardner, it is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen of Florida, so our former goaltender, getting the .921 save percentage and 5 shutouts in 64 games played there. For the GM of the year between Jason Botterill, Ryan Johnson, and Kyle Davidson, it is Ryan Johnson of Ottawa. And for the Jack Adams between Mark Stewart, Jeff Halpern, and Drew McIntyre, it is Drew McIntyre of Ottawa. All right, it's June 23rd, so let's sign some prospects. You have Wadströmer, I think I'll sign him. He's got the 3.5-star potential. Lesiak, no. Ellefson, I will sign. He's got the 1.5-star talent, 2.5-star potential. Doucette, no. Krenko, yeah, I'll sign him. He could be some good depth. Bork, no. All right, so I'll sign Krenko, Ellefson, and Wadströmer of the guys who rights are expiring this year. And then there's also Eklund, Asp, Pettersson, and Misek, who are all at 2.5-star abilities now. Eklund Asp, I mean, he's looking pretty good at this point. I'm not sure where he would fit in, honestly, but we got to fit him in somewhere. And then there's Helge Pettersson, or actually it might be Helge Pettersson. Yeah, that's probably, now that I think about it, that's probably how that's pronounced. Pretty good offensive category already. Defensive category is great, especially with that 18 defensive read. Physical ratings are pretty solid. Mental ratings could be better, but overall, it's looking like we're going to have to bring him over. And then Misek, I mean, he does have that, if he's on your roster, controversy will follow personality, but he's a pretty good player. I cannot deny that he is a talented forward there. He's got the 19 passing, 16 getting open, 17 positioning already, 15 hitting, 14 defensive read, 15 offensive read. Physical ratings are pretty good. Speed's at 16. Mental ratings aren't great, but overall, once again, another solid young player. So I think with that being said, we're definitely going to be releasing Jake Evans this year. As good as he is defensively, he's 34 years of age. Okay, he's asking for what was it? Effectively 6.5 for 1 year. That's not happening. Evans is getting released. So I'll just place him on the trade block just so I know not to re-sign him. Then Greenway, do we keep Greenway? I mean, I think so. He still has the 17 grinder rating. As long as he doesn't want anything insane on his contract extension, 4.5 for 3 years. Actually, I don't know. That's a bit much for somebody who is already 33 and is for sure going to keep dropping as he heads towards 36. Yeah, actually, I might let Greenway walk because that's kind of a lot for him. I mean, he had 34 points this past season at a 64 grade. I like him as a player, but that just might be a little bit too much. Wahlberg wants 1.5 for 2 years. I mean, he's decent depth, I guess, but, not anybody who I'm ever going to be really counting on, I don't think. I mean, we have him on auto qualified, so it's not like we need to sign him right now, but he could be someone worth considering re-signing if we have money left over. But yeah, I don't know about Greenway. I mean, it's not like Misek, Pettersson, or Eklund Asp are as good defensively as Greenway is, especially not with hitting. Although honestly, Misek he's got the 15 hitting and 17 positioning. And how is that compared to Greenway? Greenway is a much better checker for sure. He's got that 18 hitting and 17 checking. And then Misek only has 12 checking. So I'm not sure if Misek would be the best replacement defensively for Greenway if we were to let him go. I mean, I guess I know I'm signing all three of these guys regardless. Like all three of them are ready to go for sure. It's just going to be a matter of finding where they fit in the lineup. So I'll sign Misek. I'll sign Eklund Asp, and I will sign Pettersson. And then another player worth considering is David Skorepa. I believe we drafted him last season. He's already up to a 2-star ability. Puck handling is at 18. So he's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to give him one more year because I don't know where we're even going to fit these three guys in Pettersson, Eklund Asp, and Misek, let alone Skorepa. I don't think all four of them are going to have a spot in the lineup. So I think I'll leave Skorepa unsigned for right now. But then in terms of upcoming FAs, we're letting Evans walk. Greenway is questionable. I'm still debating him. But what I'm really debating here is Marino and Byram. Marino is 33. He wants $5 million for 3 years. I mean, that's essentially the same kind of deal as Greenway, right? Yeah. And they're both 33 as well. So it's, that's roughly, let's say $9 million after negotiations between two 33-year-olds in Greenway and Marino. And then, of course, there's Byram, who, he wants 8.5 over 5 years, and he's already 29. That takes him to 34. See, here's the thing. I like all these players. I like Marino. I like Byram. I like Greenway. But it's just going to be too much. So hold up. Let's compare Byram and Marino here. Byram offensively is better than Marino for sure. He's got that 18 offensive read compared to 15. Defensively, I gotta give the edge to Marino because he's got that 18 stick checking, 16 defensive reads, 16 positioning. Byram, however, has 17 hitting compared to 13 hitting for Marino. Checking is equal. Physically, I give the edge to Byram for sure. And then mentally, I give the slight edge to Marino. I think overall, I got to give the edge to Byram just because he's younger, but I'm still not a fan of that kind of deal for him. If I can take him down to 3 years, then I think that'd be ideal, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. Let's see, I'll offer him 2 years at $9 million. Yeah, he's staying at 5. I'm going to go back up to 3, taking a 9.2 for 3 years. Yeah, he's really set on 5 years, it looks like. Yeah, he wants that 5 years. All right, hold on. Let's take a look at our cap obligations here going into next season. We apparently have 31 million remaining. I don't know if I believe that. I just don't know if that's going to be worth it long term. Yeah, I think we're going to have to release Greenway, unfortunately. Like I said, I like him as a player, but this is just going to be, between all these players, this is going to be way too much money. It's just going to be way too much. Let's see. Can I take Marino down to 2 years maybe? I'll offer him 1 year in hopes that it'll counter with 2. 5.9 for 1 year. It looks like he's set on 3. I'll try 5.7 for 2 years. Yeah, no, he's set on 3. So I guess the question we have to ask is Marino going to be worth 4.8 for the next 3 years, starting at 34 years of age? I don't know. I mean, he had a 67 grade last year, 39 points. I believe his defensive grade was in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he had a 74 defensive grade, in fact. I'm just not sure how long that's going to last, Yeah, I think I'm going to have to pass on Marino, too. I mean, Again, I like Marino a lot, but that's just way too much for somebody who's heading towards 34 and will be 36 by the time his contract is up, So the only one here who I'd be willing to sign is Byram, but even Byram's kind of a risk. Here's the thing, though. It's not like we really have anybody to replace Byram with. Despite the fact that we've drafted some more defensive prospects as of late, we're still very thin in terms of prospects that are almost NHL ready, right? Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to sign Byram. I'll try to take him down to 8 mil. All right, he's down to 8.23 for 5 years, and that's what it's gonna have to be because his negotiation mood is just about as bad as it's gonna get here. So yeah, we're gonna have to submit that. And I guess we'll sign LeBurge as well. He's only asking for 1.5 for 3 years. He's a 2.5-star ability. I mean, he's not that great defensively, but we're gonna have to make do with what we have here. So I will offer him 1.5 for 3 years. Then Merca, he wants 1.5 for 3 years as well. Then again, Marino was plus 49 last season. Was he on the first line with Dahlin? Yeah, I think so. That looks like first line ice time. Yeah, it looks like he might have been on the top pair with Dahlin. So I guess that explains it. And then Dahlin was a plus 42. So yeah, I guess that makes sense why Marino was plus 49. But like I said, I like Marino a lot, but I just don't think it's worth it long term for that contract. Oh, apparently the Minnesota Wild are offering a third in this upcoming draft in exchange for the rights to negotiate with Marino. I mean, I don't know how smart the computer is when it comes to re-signing players, I mean, I would hope that they re-sign Marino after this, right? You know what? No, I'm gonna reject that. I have a feeling that the computer is just gonna ignore Marino and let him walk to free agency. And here's our 2029-30 season summary. We reached the playoffs, we had a winning season and a winning percentage of 600 or better, longevity bonus of 4, total season score 23, total career score so far of 126. We got player management and discipline up there. All right, so we're on July 1st now. Let's take a look at our roster to see what we need in terms of holes that need to be filled. In goal, you have Levi and Linders. On defense, you have Dahlin, Evans, Byram, Faber, LeBurge, Morrow, Merca, and Ellefson. And then, wait, what? What's going on with Evans? his cap hit's at 0. Something's really going on with Riker Evans. First, there was the issue when we were first trying to sign him, and now there's this. I'm not sure what's happening with him. I mean, is he just a free player? Because he's got a 0 cap hit, but he's supposedly still contracted for at least 1 year. And then he has apparently a renewed contract as well that is also 0 cap hit for 1 year. Yeah, I think Riker Evans might be bugged here. And then forward-wise, you have Thompson, McKenna, Benson, that's 3. Helenas, Oslin, McLeod, Nuchev, Stenberg, Lehkonen, Beryazkin, Aram Olsen, Eklund Asp, Pedersen, and Misek. So we have a full forward core. But besides that, I think that's going to be just about it for this one. So we'll end things off here, but not before I thank the channel members. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.